Hello, folks. Now we're going to talk about actually navigating a Moodle course. So I'm briefly going to show you the different parts of the course screen here. So over on the right side, the first thing you see is contact Brandon Kelly for any course-related questions. And for login issues, contact help desk. So if there's anything having to do with actually using the site, contact help desk if it's a login or if it's I can't get this to work in my browser or every time I click something all this crazy computer language comes up. They're the ones you want to talk to for that. For anything having to do with the courses and actually navigating the courses or completing stuff, that's going to be me. So there's my email address. Give me a shout. So over here, you'll see the news forum. The news forum is everything related to this class that I send out. So if I need to communicate to everyone who's enrolled in pain management, I can use the news forum to send that information out if something is important to you. So, I may need to tell you that, hey, I just had to rearrange this layout of the modules because this doesn't work well. Don't be surprised when you log in and see it. Something to that effect is what I would use that for. So the modules themselves, this particular class, this is a pain management class. It has 3 content modules. So we've got the course instructions, pain management pretest, pain management course. All right. Below that, we have the certificate of completion, which any course that's worth continuing education credits for the state will have a certificate with it. So that's that. And then optional survey, we'll talk about that here in a minute. So let's talk about the individual modules. You notice this one does not have any sort of checkbox like this one has. Let's talk about checkboxes just a moment. All right. This little your progress thing, anywhere where you see the question mark, it brings up a help little box that kind of tells you what's going on here. So what this tells you the different types of checkboxes you can see on here. A dotted border, which is this guy. It will appear and will automatically be checked when you have completed what it is you have to do to get that checkbox. All right, maybe it's take a test, maybe it's read something, maybe it's download an item, maybe it's upload an item. It just depends on whatever that module is looking for you to do. All right. If there's a solid box, which is what will appear here, it's not on there now because I wanted to show you what it looks like without one. As you can see, I have a unchecked, a checked, and none. So this one will have a solid box. What a solid box means is it's something that you don't necessarily have to do something that the system recognizes for you to get credit. So you at any time can check a solid box as being complete. All right. So the reason why that's going to appear in this module is this is the instructions handout. All right. So I'm going to send this out via email. It'll have links to all these videos that I'm producing. You probably have already seen this by the time you get into the class. So if you don't need to get the instructions for how to use Moodle, how to take a class, etc., and you're already ready for it, go ahead and check that little box. That tells the course that I'm good on this. I don't need any additional help. Even after you've checked it, if you need to go in and grab the instructions, you can. All right. So this next module, notice there's a checkbox in there. That means I have completed something. To be perfectly honest, this is the second time I've made this video because the first time I made it, the system crashed and I lost 10 minutes worth of instructional video. So it already shows that I'm complete because I did it in the last one, but that's okay. We're going to go do it again. So I'm going to click Start a New Attempt, which you will not have to do if you have not completed it. Notice here it tells me that my number of attempts is unlimited. I've made one previous attempt. My grade for that was 10%, which I will explain in a moment. This is how the course grades it. So it will grade your highest attempt. So if you take 400 times, whichever one of those 400 has the highest score is the grade you will get credit for. Again, this is all conditional. It all depends on how the course is set up. There is no minimum grade for this particular section of the course because this is a pretest. You may not know this information. The whole point is to evaluate what you know. So an important note on this part right here. If you see preview listed as an option for how to start a module, I need you to email me, call me, send me a carrier pigeon, however you need to, and tell me that preview appears on this thing because I do not want it on there. What that means, if I select preview and go through this class, go through this module of this class, when I am done, it will not count that attempt, all right? It is a preview attempt, which means I might spend an hour in a particular module. If I start it under the preview mode, I will lose it all when I'm done, and it will count for nothing. So I do not want to do that to you. So if you happen to see preview and you want to move on with the course, make sure that normal is selected, but I should have removed preview from this, and I did not. So if you ever see preview, whatever you have to do, get the message to me so I can get in there and get it out of there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and enter this module. So give me just a second to line up this screen so that you can see it all. So we're going to start this test. This is how this particular course navigates. They all will look a little different. Again, I did not make this, so I didn't choose it to display this way. It just does. All right, so here it's telling us we're going to take a pre-test. Tells you who made the class. It was Nasimzo. So here we are in the pre-test. Now I am just going to blast through this thing because I am not looking for a grade. I'm not looking to show the system what my skill level is as it relates to pre-hospital pain management. I am looking to get to a final score so that I can show you what the system does. So we're almost there. And here we are. So this time I accidentally scored a little bit better. I made a 30%. This is done. It now gives me instructions to exit out of this assessment by closing the window. So I'm going to do that. You will see this course completely reload. Now when I come down here, I have the checkbox here. I realized when I started the video it was already there, but as soon as I click Start New Attempt, it erased that check mark. You just couldn't see it. All right, so now I've completed everything that this module tells me I have to do. So I would go down, repeat for all of the modules that exist, and eventually, once I got all these checkboxes done, I would be able to get my certificate of completion because I would in fact be complete. As you can see, I am clicking like crazy here. Nothing works. All right, this activity requires that the pre-hospital protocol course is completed and passed. There is a test at the end of this module. If you don't pass it, you have to repeat this entire module right here. Not all of the class, just this module. But this little checkbox will not check until you have passed that test with at least a 70 or above. All right. Once that's there, again, I'm going to go back and look at my check marks, make sure everything that has a box is checked, and this certificate will open up to where I can print a certificate of completion. I'll create a separate video for what that looks like because it can be a little quirky. Not on your end, it's on the end of the system. It's just something I need to show you. So once you get the certificate, you're all done with the class. You can just close it. You'll get credit for the course, and you are all done. Surveys. I will not always put surveys in courses. I only care about you doing a survey if I'm going to get something meaningful, and more specifically, you are going to get something meaningful by filling out a survey. All right, this is the first class that's going to be pushed out on the Moodle platform, so there are a couple of things I want to know from you. All right, and as you can see, they are very short and simple. So here, pain management survey, I want to answer the questions. There are only 2, okay? So what this says is the mode. User's name will be logged and shown with answers. On some surveys, we're not going to track who actually said what. On this one, I want to, and the reason is because this is new to me, just like it's new to you. So I want to know if you say that this thing needs work. Notice I didn't give you a field to tell me what it needs other than this one. I want to be able to contact you and say, hey, tell me what you saw. When you said it could be better, what could be better? I want to be able to get in touch with you. All right, but I also want you to be honest. A lot of times when you're asked to give criticism that the person you're criticizing or the product you're criticizing is going to know you said it, you're not honest. I want you to be honest. I promise you you're not going to offend me. This system is not for me. This system is for you. It's an opportunity to get education at your convenience and get the exact same education that everybody else is getting at your own time. You can do it at 3 o'clock in the morning. You can do it at 8 o'clock in the morning. You can do it at 10 at night. It doesn't matter. You'll get the same thing that everybody else gets. So I want this thing to work for you, and I really mean that. So I need you to be honest with me on these surveys and tell me what you thought of it, and use these fields to tell me, hey, this class was awesome, except I hate how many times you say when you're talking. Anything like that. If it's criticism, I'll take it. You don't have to be mean, but you have to be honest. All right. So if you got a comment that's going to make the system better and make the course better, I want to hear it. And don't be afraid to tell me who said it, because I'm probably going to call you and say, can you explain this to me? Tell me what you meant, et cetera, et cetera. That's the only point that I see in doing surveys is system improvement. You won't see them in every class, but if they appear, it's because I really want to hear what you have to say. So we'll go back to the main class. Notice I'm using these little tabs here instead of my back button. You can do it either way. You just have to click back more times when you've been through a couple of layers. That's it. All the courses would generally work this way. Some will have multiple modules. You know, you may have a class that has 50 modules in it, or you may have a class that only has one module in it. There will be classes that don't have the certificate option because they're not worth any CEs. They're like documentation classes, for example, for how to use a particular feature in the licensure system or how to use a particular feature in waters. Those classes, they won't necessarily be worth any CEs, but we still want to put it out there so you can go get it, and we want to track how many people have attended those things so we can make sure we're reaching everybody that we need to. So that's it. Again, my email is right here. If you got any questions, concerns, comments, please let me know. Most of you know my phone number anyway, and you know that I'll answer it pretty much any time. So thank you, and appreciate you attending this class.